what do you feel like you personally get from the group in general?
My relationship with my wife Anne has improved immeasurably. That the work that I'm doing with men helps me in my relationship with Anne, and that's
how do you think it does that?
You get in the men's group, you get the opportunity to talk about where you are, about what you're feeling, and men don't very often do that. Down the pub, they never do that. We talk about football, but we rarely talk about our feelings. So when we spend a day talking about our feelings, it opens you up in order that you can be open when you go home and remain open over the coming weeks. And then you need a new injection 3 months down the line. But it's just that Anne really appreciates that I'm a lot more open now about feelings than I was before.
Do you ever wonder what we're doing there other than that?
Do I wonder? It's very interesting because every time there's mainly one issue, sometimes two issues that come out that are quite common to the rest of the group, or at least a real curiosity and interest by other members of the group. So something, for example, last September, my dad died, and coincidentally, the day after, it was the men's group. So I got tremendous amount of support. I didn't have a particularly close relationship with my father when I was growing up. I recognized by coming to the men's group that I had to work with that. Over the 19 years, I got a lot closer to my dad, and my dad would never give me a hug. I started giving him a hug. I started telling him I loved him. One of the things that came out from one of the members, he had a younger son who he had a few difficulties with, and he said that he'd been to Bruges with his son. And it took me back to when I was 7. And I remember I'm from the Northwest, going on the moors in the Northwest with my dad, him taking me a walk over the moors, and I had to rely completely on him to do this because I didn't know how to use a compass. I didn't know how to read a map. He knew those things, and he got us saved the other side. A bell rung for me, and I thought, I need to go walking on the moors with my dad again. Now, he was 80 at this time, very fit, and I still can't use a compass, still can't read a map, and my dad took over again. And that was a very special thing. And, you know, searching for my father, I found my father, and I developed a really good, strong relationship that at the end of his life was far stronger than anything that was in my youth.
What would you say to men that might struggle with that idea and, you know, even getting in touch with the feeling that they wanted to be close to their fathers? It might be kind of that they've got a lot of anger between the two of them or something like that.
Yeah. I've realized I'm 71 now. And as I've got older, I've recognized how much more like my dad I am. And as men, we become like our fathers. As we get older, we might not like that. If you can recognize your father, you can recognize the good qualities that your father has, as well as those areas where he wasn't as strong. More of an acceptance of who you are because of your father.